Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everyone. Welcome to the FPL Wire Gameweek 6 mini review brought to you by Fantasy Football Scouts members area. As usual, we'll be looking at the current game week as well as the 6 game weeks gone by. We now have a decent pool of data to dive into to make some sort of logical conclusions. But before that, let's look specifically at this game week. First up, shots in the box. Top three players there were Wilson, Salah, and Brown. Brown is an interesting one. A lot of people are obviously going to Morris, and I would too, because of penalty duties, but he did get 4 chances. XG non penalty of 0.38, which is significantly higher, I think, than Morris. We'll see where he is a little bit later. 4 shots in the box, but only one big chance of that for Salah. That was a penalty. XG non pen of 0.24. Wilson, right up there. I think he probably should have bagged more. 3 big chances, so his owners perhaps got a little bit unlucky. He's usually quite clinical with these. 3 shots in the box for Son, 2 big chances. He scored both. 0.51 XG non-pen. Nunes numbers obviously stand out. All 3 of his shots in the box were big chances. Apart from this, let's have a look at some other numbers. Bowen, again, good shooting numbers. Watkins, 2 shots. Now let's look at XG non-penalty. Wilson top, Nunes second. On the radar definitely after the international break. Mitoma off the bench, 0.72. Gordon, one to watch out for now, with Barnes being injured, might see more consistent game time. Calvert-Lewin, just that one shot he took coming off the bench, which he scored from. Nobody else really stands out. 0.55 for Alvarez in under 60 minutes. Pretty decent. 0.48 for Jackson. I remember looking at this chance, he might have been offside, if that helps your pain somewhat. Wilson, Gordon, top 4 shots on target. Bruno, 3. I'm not seeing Rashford anywhere here for terms of shots. Nowhere near. Yep, nowhere in the top 20, I guess. That's a bit alarming. Salah's up there, Nunes, Johnson, Bowen, nothing much else. Chances created. Fullbacks to the fore again with Trippier and Robertson with 5 chances created apiece. Robertson's been quite attacking in Trent's absence. He's been the fullback bombing forward. Normally, he's the one who has to stay back a little bit. So there's a short-term opportunity there, at least while Trent is out. Doughty is one to consider ahead of Luton's double, but I'm not sure anyone will really be going there. 4 chances created by Tarkowski, all of set pieces. Brentford struggled a little in Ben Mee's absence to deal with Everton's aerial threat. 4 chances created by Szoboszlai as well. 4 by Kamara is not something I expected. But again, Gordon chances created, very impressive. Let's have a look at big chances created. Gordon, Trippier up there, 2 by Maddison, 2 from Salah as well. You see obviously Trippier up there for XA with those big chances created. Salah right on top for XGI. But one of these was a penalty, so you scratch that out. 0.7 from that's not that great, to be honest, because I expected his XA to be higher considering that he's created 2 big chances. So that's a little bit strange over there. Saka also obviously on penalties, Morris as well. Nunes definitely on the radar. And Son needs to be coming back into our thinking if we have sold him like I have. Now let's look at the data for the first 6 game weeks as a whole. Haaland obviously top for shots in the box across all players. Rashford 20, but only 3 big chances. That's a very, very low number. That does show that he's taking very lots of poor shots. Yeah, his XG non-5 is lower than Vissa's and Edwards. Who else stands out here? Watkins' numbers still promising. Salah, obviously. Alvarez numbers are good. Son, Saka, but nobody else really that stands out. Nunes just keeps popping up. All the stats are mind-boggling for Nunes. There were comments from Klopp also after the game that he's come on leaps and bounds. Should be making plans for him. Bowen is third, amongst all players for XG non-penalty, and guess who he plays? Sheffield United, who just conceded 8 goals. It's much higher than Ward Prowse, who isn't anywhere on here. Cash is fourth. He had a good chance against Chelsea as well. Boomers, I'm a little bit worried with all the injuries that Brentford have. Seems to be affecting Boomer's output. Shard is another big one we need to watch out for. Rashford, like we see, somewhere in the top 15, not very high up. Eze is up there as well. Saka has been the league's most creative player, 19 chances created. Maddison's up there. Trippier's in fifth. So his numbers have caught up. Alvarez is there. You see Eze up there. Bruno Salah up there for XA along with Maddison. Rashford's much lower down. 3 big chances created. Maybe he's taking on more of a creative role with Rasmus in the team now. It's very different than the role he had with Marshall, where Marshall was just a decoy with Rashford to score. Something we need to monitor going forward. Salah top, big chances created. Gordon puts his hands up again. Neto is up there. XGI. Yeah, Neto makes a top 15, I would guess, in terms of XGI. Very good numbers. Who else stands out besides that? Nobody really else. All the names we've already spoken about before. Let's have a look now at some of the team numbers from this week. Newcastle obviously top, 3.92 XG, 8 goals. Liverpool up there. Everton 1.9. Brentford were quite leaky. Brighton 1.85, and I think in the first half there was something like 0.2 or 0.3. That's it. Second half, their subs completely changed the game. Spurs out XG'd Arsenal on their own patch. Arsenal were much more open when Rice went off injured. That probably played a big role, and I think Son's XG was also quite high with that chance he had. Both the chances, I think, which were from good locations. Chelsea's XG is meaningless again. Luton 1.39. They were actually dominant in the first half against Wolves, although probably should have made more of the man advantage. Just 0.97 XG for Man United against Burnley, who we expected to be much leakier. Company made some comments after the game saying that he had been working on their defensive shape and he expected them to be a lot tighter going forward. Just 1 XG for Brentford, 0.5 just for Fulham. That looks like it was a very dull game. Apart from that, they didn't afford Palace much though. Numbers are very good for XG conceded non-penalty. That's about it, I guess. Big chances, Newcastle. Again, we know Liverpool, 7 big chances at home. Wow. They really should have scored more there. 5 big chances for Everton is something that surprises me as well. Wolves conceding a lot of goal attempts again, down to 10 men for a large part of it. Can't really read much into that. Data for the season so far. Man City top, Brighton, Liverpool, Newcastle have caught up pretty much just because of the last game. Good fixtures coming up. I'm very tempted by Gordon after looking at these numbers today. Spurs keep ticking along. The game against Liverpool promises to be a cracker. Chelsea have scored 5 goals from 10 plus XG. I don't know how long we can keep using the XG argument with these guys. Villa up there as well. Burnley again and Luton, they're missing one game. So their XG numbers are quite low. All 3 promoted sides there. Fulham's also right near the bottom. This is what worries me about Eze. You see Palace in the bottom 6 for XG is not very encouraging. Sheffield United and Bournemouth continue to be the leakier sides in the league along with Wolves. Fulham again, 2 clean sheets back to back. Numbers don't indicate that is sustainable, but they keep churning them out. That's 3 clean sheets in 6 games, and Leno seems to be very good for bonus. One to consider if you're possibly wildcarding this week. United from the earlier faults were quite poor. City and Arsenal are the best defense. Chelsea are a hard avoid. Arsenal is to be seen how long Rice is out. That will definitely affect their numbers a little bit. Liverpool, Newcastle, Man City appear to be creating the most big chances. Definitely an attack we should be looked to investing in. Newcastle have only conceded 5 big chances in 6 matches. Very impressive again, considering the opposition they have played prior to the last 2 matches. United haven't conceded that many big chances. That's interesting. And what also stands out to me is that Palace's numbers are quite strong. Now, somebody as a Rashford owner, I'm debating I can't afford Son. Moving him on to Maddison is a tempting option, especially the price rises do dictate it because you see Palace are decent defensively. I don't think they'll give up too much at Old Trafford, whereas you see Liverpool. Where are Liverpool on this? Yeah, Liverpool are not too far off either. Liverpool are 6th. So something to think about for me there, hopefully for you as well. I hope you enjoyed the video. It was a swingy game week. Lot of low scores, lot of high scores. But the next one is not too far away. Thank you for watching and see you again next week. Bye bye.